Fahkumram, a returning character that made his debut as a DLC character in Tekken 7. And he is what you see. A very lanky fighter with great range, powerful strikes, and comparatively simple inputs and execution relative to the rest of the cast. But he's also got a couple of interesting mechanics that Bandai Namco esports manager Alex Julio was kind enough to walk me through in this early preview of the character. So let's take a quick look at what's new with the character, go over his best moves, punishes, and take a look at some quick combos as well in this Tekken starter guide for Fahkumram. First off, just a few little interesting tidbits about the character. He is, once again, mocapped by professional Muay Thai fighter and kickboxer Nadaka Yoshinari, who also happens to be the martial arts master of longtime Tekken producer Michael Murray. I was told that apparently they went into the mountains of Thailand to find a monk in a temple to draw Fahkumram's tattoos, so obviously authenticity was a big point that the developers wanted to hit with this character. Gameplay wise, before we go into his notable moves, let's quickly cover his Garuda Force buff, which is a buff gained by landing one of the following: his down forward 1-2, forward 1+2, the last hit of back 4-3-2, his punch parry, or if you're in heat, you just have the buff automatically. When he has this buff, Fahkumram gains a couple of new strings, including his old rage drive from Tekken 7. He can also do this when he fully charges either his tornado kick or his erupting knee. Basically, if they're blocked, he enters his Rama stance where it's time for the opponent to guess. In this stance, he can do an unsafe low, a safe mid-string that jails, a +1 on block mid, a slow but interruptible unblockable, and a throw. It's worth mentioning as well that while these charged attacks are sidesteppable, Fahkumram can now feint and cancel them by holding forward or use a homing attack out of them and try to catch the sidestep by holding back. Now let's talk about his notable normals. Starting off with 3+4, a returning favorite, this is just a really chunky 18-frame mid that knocks down on regular hit and on counter hit stuns the opponent for a full combo. It tracks to the right and is safe on block at -9. Forward 3 is a new 21-frame advancing load that is +4 on hit, tracks to the right, and is -14 on block. From crouch down forward 2 is another low hitting move, this time with 19 frames of startup, that leaves him at +4 on hit and is -14 on block. On counter hit, it knocks down and gives you a guaranteed forward 1+2 follow-up, which is a great way to get his Garuda Force charge. Down 4 is a faster low at 14 frames that will transition into a throw if it hits as a counter. That added power comes with risk though, as it is launch punishable at -15 on block. Back forward 4 is a returning 18-frame high kick that is core to Fahkumram's kit. It causes a crumple even on normal hit, is +6 on block, and as an extra bonus, it also armor breaks, which means that you cannot power crush through it. It can be ducked of course and launch punished, but nevertheless this is a very scary move. Forward 4 is a 25-frame axe kick that is +3 on block and +14 on counter hit, which lets you get either a free back 1 or other 14-frame follow-up. It's worth noting at this point that one of Fahkumram's weaknesses is that his attacks are generally pretty slow on startup. For example, most characters have a 13-frame down forward 1 as a quick mid poke after the opponent blocks a plus on block move. Fahkumram's down forward 1 though is 15 frames, so just keep that in mind when you're planning your pressure after this move is blocked. Forward 3 is a pretty standard running attack that allows you to close the distance and keep the advantage even if it's blocked. This one is +6 on block and on hit gives you a +15 knockdown. It's fairly linear though and can be sidestepped both ways. Down forward 3 is another far-reaching low. This one has 20 frames of startup, is -1 on hit, and -13 on block, but it has a fake out by pressing down forward 3, faking low and instead going mid. If the second kick hits, it will knock down and guarantee a ground follow-up, and if it's blocked, it's +2. The low hit can be sidestepped both ways, while the fake out tracks to the right. Back 3 is a returning move from Tekken 7, but this time it's also a heat engager. It's a 16-frame high roundhouse kick that is safe on block at -7 and also will wall stun. Up forward 2 is one of Fahkumram's power crushes. This one is 18 frames, high, sidesteppable in both directions, but safe on block at -7. His other Power Crush, forward 3+4 on the other hand, is a mid, but is slower at 22 frames of startup and is minus 14 on block. Next is down forward 1, which is a move that we somewhat touched upon earlier. It's on the slower side as far as down forward 1s go at 15 frames, but it is only minus 3 on block, and also has two very notable follow-ups in down forward 1-2, which is minus 13 on block, but will grant a Garuda Force charge if it hits, and down forward 1-4, which is a heat engager that is safe on block at minus 5. Then let's quickly touch upon his heat engagers, which are forward 1+2, a 21 frame safe mid that can be sidestepped in both directions, the aforementioned back 3, up forward 3, which is a 14 frame punishing heat engager, and finally there's while standing 1-2, which is a 13 frame while standing punish. Speaking of punishes, let's go over everything Fahk has from 10 frame to 23 frame punishers. At 10 frames, Fahkumram's options are 1-2 and 1-4. 1-4 is the better option in just about every situation. It does more damage and leaves you at +8 as opposed to +5. He doesn't have an 11 frame punish, but for 12 frames, he's got 2-1, 4-3, and 4-4. Of the three options, you're generally going to want to do 2-1 as it does the most damage and knocks down, and even at the wall, it will wall stun. For 13 frame punishes, there's 3-1, which leaves you at +7 on hit, giving you some pretty good options to keep your pressure going. For 14 frames, he's got three options. Back 1, which knocks down and gives you a guaranteed follow-up with either forward 3 or forward 1+2, which again gives you a Garuda Force charge, up forward 3, which is a heat engager, and back 2-1, which does solid damage and knocks down, but doesn't give you a follow-up while the opponent is grounded. All three of these options also wall stun. At 15 frames, your go-to will be down forward 2-3, which is his main launcher. Down forward 1-2 will give him a Garuda charge, and down forward 1-4 will be what you use if you want a heat engager. And if you block something that's super punishable, his 20 frame punisher is up forward 4, which is his hop kick. On the wall standing front, at 11 frames, he's got wall standing 4, which does 20 damage and leaves you at +5. For 13 frames, there's wall standing 1-2, which is a heat engager and wall stuns. For 14 frames, you've got wall standing 2-4, which can also wall stun, or without a wall, knock down and guarantees a forward 1+2 follow-up. And finally, for 15 frames, there's wall standing 3, which is your traditional launch punisher from while standing. Now, as always, let's put this all together for a little showcase with some practical combos to get you started with the character. And that's Fahkumram in Tekken 8. He's a hard-hitting character with great reach and some scary buttons, especially when he's got a Garuda charge. Thanks for watching, and another special thanks to Bandai Namco and Alex for taking the time to walk me through this character. For more Tekken 8, make sure to check out our other starter guides for other DLC characters like Eddie Gordo, Lydia, and Anna. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.